This segment of the Alice Stewart Show is brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all your household or business plumbing needs, call Aero Plumbing at 1-866-PLUMBER or schedule an appointment online at aeroplumbing.net.
Welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show, 7:34, 26 minutes until 8 o'clock. Coming up shortly, Mike Ross, Democratic gubernatorial candidate, will join us to talk about his last-minute push to the polls. Right now, we are joined with Congressman Tim Griffin. He is the Republican candidate for lieutenant governor. He is moving fast and furiously around the state, up in Fort Smith right now. Congressman Griffin, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. We started real early this morning. I think we went on local news in Little Rock about 5:20, something like that. We got a bunch of folks out of bed and got them down there, and some of our volunteers, and we just had a great showing for donuts and coffee, and we immediately headed to Fort Smith. We just arrived in Fort Smith. We're gonna pull up here at a rally any second now, joining Asa Hutchinson and Cotton and some others. And then as soon as that's done, we're back to Little Rock for a rally. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to pick up my father, and he's going to ride with me up to Jonesboro for a rally up there, and then we'll get back late tonight. So we've got rallies all over the state. We're not gonna slow down until it's over. And
it's a big, strong push to the finish. You are running for Lieutenant Governor, Democratic challenger, businessman John Burkhalter. Congressman, what is the message you're giving voters today and certainly tomorrow to make sure that they get up and go vote?
Well, it's just critically important. We've been talking about for months the differences between us. I have a proven record as a conservative. He's been a big Obama supporter, so it's a pretty clear contrast. And now, after we've talked about all of that, it's time to get our folks out and get them to vote. And as I've heard some of the other candidates say, at some point the candidate's role sort of slows down and then ends, and it's up to the voters. And so we're just making sure that the voters get out and express their views, and we've seen incredible turnout across the state, and I think it all looks real good.
And of course, the key is getting your message out there to folks and really getting them out and getting them motivated. And one of your key components from the very beginning in running for lieutenant governor is to create an environment that helps Arkansas compete with other states, reforming outdated, burdensome tax laws, reforming education. What is the key component of your campaign that you feel has really resonated more than anything with the voters?
Well, I've basically said you don't have to guess what I'll go, how I will serve. I've got a conservative record. I've got a proven record as a conservative, and I've worked for pro-jobs policies, and we'll in my current role, and we'll continue to do that. We'll work with the governor and the legislature because there are a lot of states around us that are taking jobs that we ought to be getting, and we're only going to do that if we can change our tax code, and our regulatory structure, et cetera. We've got to adopt policies that'll help us compete. Tax reform is a big priority. Obviously, workforce training, regulatory reform. These are things that we've needed to do for decades and have been ignored for the most part. It'll be time to get them done.
And one last question, Congressman. We have had former President Bill Clinton campaigning 3 times in the state for Democratic candidates. It was in again over the weekend. And what are your thoughts on that when we have President Barack Obama has said that his policies are on the ballot this time? Do you see that being a factor?
Not really. Look, I don't think that 6 days of President Clinton can erase 6 years of Barack Obama. I think people get that. I'm sure folks are glad to have him visit their community, but people aren't going to forget that Barack Obama is the head of the Democratic Party, and the policies have failed, continue to fail. and we've got to make a change. I think people get that. So, I don't see it having an impact.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. I know you're hopping out of the car at an event. Congressman Tim Griffin running for Republican Lieutenant Governor candidate. Congressman, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you. Have a great day. And if you want more information on his campaign, where he is on the issues, go to timgriffinforarkansas.com. Take a break, and when we come back, Mike Ross, Democratic gubernatorial candidate, will join us to give his last-minute push, encouraging voters to the polls. This segment of the program brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all of your household or business plumbing needs, call Aero Plumbing, 501-588-3200, or go to aeroplumbing.net.